Welcome back to JDW Sports Talk Show, and in today's episode, we will be talking about Jason Peters and why he could be a possible target for the Indianapolis Colts for the left tackle position. Now, I think Jason Peters could be a possible target for a few reasons, and I think there's many reasons why he wouldn't be. So, the big reason is he has that connection with Frank Reich. Of course, Frank Reich may want his old player back, but other than that, I don't see really much upside. He is actually a really solid guy at left tackle. But that brings us to the downfalls. There's a lot more downfalls than positives, so it's probably not likely. It probably wouldn't be beneficial to really sign him. He's definitely getting much older. It's been over 2 years since he's been with Frank Reich. He's had a very bad injury history lately. Torn ACL. He was on an injury reserve to end the season last year. He's had a lot of injuries lately. Like I said, he's definitely on the far wrong side of 30. Definitely getting older, and he hasn't even played left tackle in a few years. He's played right guard for the past few years, and I don't know if he'd be a guy that you'd want to change back to tackle when he's already getting older. He's already having injury concerns. I don't know if you really want to rely on that. I don't think that's a guy you want to, go into the season that you don't know is going to be healthy and ready to protect and, be a good offensive lineman for the team, or at least half decent. And the last thing a Colts need is a very, very injury-prone left tackle that's going to protect their injury-prone quarterback, in Carson Wentz. Jason Peters and Carson Wentz will have that connection as well. So maybe Carson Wentz would want it a little bit as well, but you never know. Maybe I think this is the least likely. Like I said, I think this is the least likely out of Russell Okung, out of Eric Fisher, out of Alejandro Villanueva. But I'd actually rather him over Alejandro Villanueva because I'm just not feeling him. People has brought up his name quite a bit, but I don't really see it. I don't really want him. He really fell off a cliff last year. I think it's really between Russell Okung and Eric Fisher as the top two, and actually Charles Leonard Jr. was released by the Bears, so I would actually put him at number one. I put Fisher at number two because of his connection with Chris Ballard in Kansas City. The number three I would probably put who else was I talking about? Russell Okung, and then maybe Jason Peters, and then fifth I'd probably put Alejandro Villanueva. But I'm excited to see what Chris Ballard has in plan. And since he didn't really attack left tackle in the draft, if he really thought Christian Darrisaw was worth it, he would have taken him over Kwity Paye. But he really likes Kwity Paye's upside, and he likes Kwity Paye's character much more. And plus, the edge rush was a little more of a need. You could argue that both the left tackle and edge rush were as big as needs following D'Anthony Cassan's retirement. We had, last year our backups for tackle were LaRaven Clark, Jamarcus Webb. Who else did we have? We had Will Holden, who was actually decent, who actually played decent versus a Steelers stout front. But he did have help with tight end chips, running back chips, and just Quentin Nelson could help as well. And there's ways you could help a tackle that you can't help an edge. A tackle, you could chip a tight end, you could chip a running back, and Quentin Nelson could even help him, like I said. But an edge rusher, you can't really do that. Yeah, you could draw double teams by DeForest Buckner, by other players, but you can't really help them. They're still going to have a guy they have to beat, unless, once in a blue moon, there's a guy that goes untouched. But, you never know. And we're going to have to figure things out at tackle. And you got to, the three-letter word, trust the process in Indy. Trust the guy in Chris Ballard who has got us to this point in contention. Before Chris Ballard was here, we were only contending because of one guy. I'm not going to mention that guy, but, now that Chris Ballard's here, we're in contention because we have a team. He put together a great roster, a young star-studded roster, and one that's ready to win now, and that's young, it's hungry, and they just want to win. So, let me know what you guys think. Would you guys mind Jason Peters? If we do sign him, do you think he's worth it? Do you think the Frank Reich connection is going to be enough to bring him in? there's a lot of options here, but I would be down, but on a very cheap deal just because of his injuries and stuff. That's the only thing that worries me. And he hasn't played left tackle in a few seasons, so if I had to pick of all the left tackles that I've talked about so far, I'm gonna pick Charles Leno easily because he's a little younger and he's a solid guy. He'll get the job done for a year or two. There's many options out there. Where I think Leno is the best, and maybe you just bring in a guy like, maybe they do end up having to bring in a guy like Jason Peters or Alejandro, and then maybe and then they will compete for the starting left tackle, or maybe Chris Ballard has in mind he wants Tevy and Davenport to battle for it. Maybe he wants Holden and Will Fries to all four of them compete for it. That's probably the goal, but he's probably going to bring in someone, probably. I think he needs to bring in a guy like Eric Fisher. I would not mind Eric Fisher. He's definitely getting up there. He's definitely on the wrong side of on 30, but he could come in for a year and, be a stopgap to Anthony Cassan's retirement and be a decent left tackle for the Colts. He would, anyone would really tremendously help this offensive line, but Sam Tevy, I've heard and seen a lot of bad things about him. Julian Davenport lets up 12 sacks almost like 12 sacks a season when he's healthy and stuff. And the Colts offensive line lets up like 12 to 16 or 17 sacks a year. And they let up like 16 or 17, maybe even 14 or 15 with Phillip Rivers and a quarterback that can't even move. So, Julian Davenport is giving up more than the Colts usually give up in a whole season than the whole Colts offensive line. So that's not ideal. You want to go into the year knowing your guy in Eric Fisher, or just at least creating more competition, which is needed. I wouldn't mind seeing Will Holden there a little bit because he played solid versus Steelers last year. Yeah, he did get help with chips and such, but still, you'd rather someone who could, get their thing down and they can anchor that down a little bit better. Because, having the chip with running backs and tight ends slows down your offense a little bit and it limits it a little more. So that's not ideal. So that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you guys for watching. It's been awesome making videos lately. You guys are really being big time supportive and I love it. And you guys make this channel go. And without you guys, it would be no fun. It wouldn't. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for watching this video. And if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. And thanks for watching, and like always, I'll catch you later.